F3 is back. I am the Joseph, the host of Fight Fiend Forecast, and I'm doing an event reaction recap each and every Sunday. It's Saturday since the fights were early this morning. I was live for a watch party, ton of fun. So thanks everybody tuning in to the watch party, dropping likes on the video, and being in the live chat. Live chat was pretty active there this morning for an early fight night. Tonight, not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'm here reacting to the fights this morning in Macau. Now, 50% on picks, not great. 50%, 6 for 12. We had one no contest. Alex Perez got kicked in the nuts. It would have been 6 for 13 because he wasn't looking too good in that fight. He was en route to losing anyways. Now, a split decision loss that we rightfully should have won was probably Meng Ding here. It was a split decision on the card, and it's a fight I want to talk about right away. It was the prelim power pick for me and Prelim Tim, a little collab on Instagram. Now, with the prelim power pick, it's a pick on the money line that adds value to your parlay, adds some power to it, and it's a pick that me and Prelim Tim really like on the prelims. Pretty simple. Well, he ends up losing a split decision. I thought he had the forward pressure, and both fighters landed about the same in strikes. A little bit more accurate maybe was Meng Ding, but he mixed in those leg kicks. He landed 40 leg kicks in that fight. Neither fighter had a takedown or any control in this decision. One of the biggest moments in the fight when we were watching it live was maybe the spinning attack in round 3 from Jose Souza. I guess that is what he's going to go with now. That was on his shorts. Jose Souza. He ended up having a nice spinning attack, and it split open Meng Ding, caused some blood, side of the head of Meng Ding, but I didn't think it was enough to really steal the round in this fight. Split decision goes to Jose Souza, however they want to pronounce him in the future. But yeah, Jose Souza, I guess we're going to call him, gets it done here. Split decision. Dog of the week. Just not a good pick for me on this one. Looking back, the read was there, but the fight didn't turn out how I thought. There was no ring rust on the side of Cody Haddon. Haddon clubbed him in the fight, got the knockout, sent him to the Shadow Realm, and really controlled the whole fight before clubbing him out. Had control on the ground, had the takedowns, and he was mauling him on the ground there round 1. I thought there was going to be a submission win maybe for Cody Haddon. He was really mauling the underdog of the week. It was just a bad fight for Aori Kulang for sure. He was a veteran, but Cody Haddon is just at another level, it seemed, in that fight. The layoff didn't cause him any harm. He looked very good and even better than he did in his last fight. So tough one for Aori Kulang in that one. And for Meng Ding, both fighters from China ended up losing in China. Now 6 for 12. We started off with Loma Lukbunmi with the loss there. She lost in round 1. This was an interesting fight. I missed the first couple because I was sleeping. But yeah, Jacqueline Amorim gets the submission after 3 submission attempts in this one. The Zodiac Code had Jacqueline Amorim to win and under 1.5. She ends up getting it with a minute left in round 1. So shout out to her and the Zodiac Code there. Under 1.5 was pretty safe there. She gets it round 1 after 3 submission attempts. The next fight on the prelims was Kangji Zhu. He gets knocked out round 1. So we started the card with 2 quick round 1 finishes, and half the fighters on this event were sent to the Shadow Realm too. Something to mention, 6 out of 12 fighters were knocked out. First 2 ended in round 1, and Kangji Zhu was the next guy to get knocked out. This one was like, I think 2 minutes into the fight, and Vera was just kind of all over him with the strikes. Even had a takedown in that one. So it was all Rodrigo Vera in that second fight. 2 first-round finishes, 6 fighters sent to the Shadow Realm, 1 being the dog of the week. Arichi, Kulang, Aori, Arichi. We were saying it like 3 different ways. Some of these names super hard to pronounce. But yeah, Arichi, Aori, Kulang, however you want to say it. Jose Souza, Jose Henrique, and then Louis Felipe Diaz. His name was different too on the trunks. He had a different last name. So Louis Felipe Diaz probably isn't his name moving forward. That's not his octagon name in the UFC. That's probably not what he's going to go with, I guess. Different name on the trunks. For ESPN Tapology, they didn't fix the names for Jose Henrique or Louis Felipe Diaz yet, but yeah, good performance from both of them. And Felipe Diaz is striking damn good. He got the knockout in that fight. I thought he was going to get the submission. Now, that was a big knockout win for him versus Yisak Lee, low-level fighter from South Korea. Just a little bit sloppy on the feet, not good striking defense. And then Mang Ding. Lost a split decision. So Jose Henrique looked pretty good, and I didn't think he was at high level either. But he survived and won. One fighter I didn't expect to go to the Shadow Realm for sure was the guy in the middle, Ming Yang Zhang. This was the parlay buster for me this week. Ming Yang Zhang. He gets knocked out round 1. I needed him to get the knockout under 1.5. Well, opposite happens here. Alonzo Menifield was very explosive in this fight, and it almost was like a different Alonzo Menifield in this fight than prior fights, as he had more urgency to find a finish, and he was pretty confident on the feet, throwing big clubbing shots, going for the kill, where Alonzo's usually flat-footed. He doesn't have the forward pressure in the fight. He usually gets pushed up against the fence, and he doesn't like someone being aggressive versus him, and he doesn't like getting pushed up against the fence on the back foot, as he got knocked out in round 1 in his last fight to Volkan Ozdemir. Now, in this fight, Alonzo Menifield flipped the switch, or flipped the script, because he had the forward pressure. He was walking down Ming Yang Zhang. At times, Ming Yang Zhang was walking him down, but Alonzo was still throwing some big, heavy shots, and they landed with way more power than Ming Yang Zhang. Ming Yang Zhang was kind of quick to the punch in this fight, but not for long. Alonzo was hitting him too hard, and he was really going for the kill. Like, he was throwing those punches to take his head off. He wasn't being patient. He wasn't being hesitant like we've seen in prior fights. So really a completely different Alonzo Menifield. And he is 38 too. That was the reason why I went against Alonzo. I thought Alonzo Menifield was starting to get a little old, fading him, kind of on his way out a bit. But no, he's still very powerful, and probably the best version I've seen from him yet to date. And the best version we've seen from Sergey Pavlovich to date in a while, as he knocks out Taliesin Teixeira round 1 as forecasted. Literally the first combination. Not the first punch, maybe second, third punch, but it was in the first sequence in round 1. It was 10, 20 seconds. This fight was over. Not sure the game plan for Taliesin Teixeira in this fight. Yeah, striking defense needs some work. His chin's up in the air. He was actually striking and working with Alex Pereira at Teixeira MMA and Fitness. He's actually been putting in a lot of work there. And I've seen some footage out with Taliesin and Alex Pereira sparring and stuff like that. And Pereira doesn't look that good from what we've seen this morning and how bad Taliesin Teixeira is. I've been warning people, Taliesin isn't that guy. The taller they are, the easier they fall. And this guy fell pretty easy, let me tell you that, in this fight. He fell easy, as forecasted. Charlotte's Web on his chest, like, I'm not buying it. And I wasn't buying it versus Derek Lewis, so I would not buy it versus a harder hitter in Sergey Pavlovich. Like I said right before the fight, if Derek Lewis can do it, Sergey Pavlovich can do it. And God damn it, he did it way quicker and made it look way easier. Although Derek Lewis got the round 1 KO too. But with help from maybe the ref, some would say, an early stoppage versus Derek Lewis and Taliesin Teixeira, where Sergey Pavlovich needed the ref in there because he would have killed Taliesin Teixeira. No extra shots were needed in this one. 1, 2, 3, like, done. That was it. Just done. Good thing there was a ref in there for Sergey Pavlovich and Taliesin Teixeira, right? Although Derek Lewis would have put him out too. The striking defense, not good. Chin hanging up in the air. Next opponent for Figgy. This is where we're going to end it off. Now, one other fight that I want to talk about that's not sent to the shadow realm, wasn't a split decision, was really just a great performance. A pick I had wrong. So shout out to Prelim Tim and Angela Hill here. She absolutely teed up Jingnan Jiang, the former one champion. Now, looking at the ESPN stats, like you can probably see what I see. This girl didn't land one punch, not one significant punch, not a total strike. On ESPN, it says she literally didn't throw a punch. She did absolutely nothing. Didn't even get a takedown, didn't shoot a takedown, had 0 seconds of control. Literally didn't even throw a punch. She was emoting in the octagon, the former one champion. So Angela Hill, the veteran, gets it done quite easily as an underdog here. Shout out to Prelim Tim, pretty high on her. Angela Hill landed like 130 strikes in this fight, 1 for 4 on takedowns, but had 2 minutes control and just boxed her up the whole fight. Former one champion. Seemed like a bum for not throwing literally a strike. I don't know if ESPN stats are wrong, but how don't you throw a fucking strike? Not even one punch. Just emoting in the octagon. Insane. Had to mention that. I don't know if it's like a nod on the former one champion or a knock on her, like kind of like what the fuck? Or is it like, wow, Angela Hill's still really good and she's a gatekeeper and she's slowly improving, although she's getting older. Like she's actually improving. She even said on the post-fight interview, Angela Hill, she made a change to start training with these like stronger girls and girls in her weight class rather than men that are just beating her up all the time in the training sessions. Now she's with like women training and she's getting good rounds in and she's feeling a lot more comfortable training, and she had one of the best camps she ever did. So really at her age, she's looking really good. 41. That might have been the best Angela Hill we've seen, but it's like almost a knock on her opponent, the former one champion, and how bad she was. So it's hard to say, like, was it a good fight for Angela Hill or just a bad fight for Jing Nan? Hard to say. One hell of a fight, though, Angela Hill. 30-27 or just 30-30-30? That's what they're putting on ESPN. So there could be some kind of incorrection here. Hard to believe a fighter doesn't throw a single punch in a fight, though. Wow. Just emoting in the octagon. Another fight we should mention, Ray Tsura. He was a correct pick for us. He got it round 1 submission. Ray Tsura looked very good now. Obviously, the grappling is a hole in Louis Groulet's game, and he gets submitted round 1, just not able to survive on the ground. He got swarmed with the takedowns, submissions, and grappling of Ray Tsura, and it was just too much. Sunk in the submission, rear naked choke halfway through the round in round 1. Groulet was in trouble literally the whole fight. Ray Tsura looked really good. He's 11-1 now. And Groulet, his boxing is where he shines. That was a quick turnaround for Groulet. He was off a nice win where he did improve the boxing and showed us that. But you got to have somewhat of a takedown defense, get up game against these grapplers. Tsura mauled him on the ground. He just mauled him on the ground. Dog of the week, we talked about that. Just not really a great pick. He gets knocked out in this one. He doesn't throw much on the feet. Gets taken down twice, and both times were in round 1. So I have to say, when I was watching this fight live on the watch party, Arichi Kulang did stop like 4 takedowns. He was sprawling pretty good into round 2, but that's when the damage started to land from Cody Haddon. He was landing these elbows in the clinch, and Haddon was just clubbing him. So takedowns weren't landing. Cody Haddon was still a step or 2 ahead of the underdog of the week on the feet here. All around, Cody Haddon was just better. And I don't mind saying that. He was just better. And he will be better probably 8 out of 10 times in that matchup. Not going to lie. So just a bad pick for me. Great value on the pick. I'm not going to lie. That was great value. 4-1. Odds looking back, probably where they should have been. I thought they were a little wide, but being honest, odds were probably where they should have been. I was chasing a little value here. Hometown underdog spot, veteran spot versus someone off a year and 7-month layoff. Like I thought it was a good read. It just didn't turn out. And that happens in this game. It's a fist fight. Anything can and will happen. Now, 50% on picks. It wasn't a great night on predictions, but it was very entertaining and a ton of fun going live for the watch party. Now, Figgy here in the main event, he taps out in round 2, at the end of round 2. Nice guillotine from Song Yadong, something we haven't seen in a while. I think it was his first ever UFC fight. We seen that guillotine from Yadong Song. Well, he gets it here, and it was that superstar performance I was talking about. Yadong Song showcased his skills, and not just on the feet with his clean boxing and takedown defense. He ends up getting a guillotine, something that Dustin Poirier would be very proud of here. So shout out to Yadong Song. He's still a young fighter, and he takes out a former champion. Yadong Song is on the rise, but he is off a loss before this fight to Sean O'Malley. Do they run it back? That's a good one to run back, see what happens in another rematch, another year or two down the line. I think Yadong Song is a gamer and someone to watch out for. For Figgy, don't really need to watch out for him. We kind of know what he's up to now. If you watch the watch party and the full card prediction show, he's a little too low output. Doesn't have much to offer with the takedowns and control at this point in his career, and his style isn't really working at bantamweight. He's a small size for the weight class, and even if he has to step down to the bottom 15 of this division, I still see troubles for him just being the smaller fighter. Stepping down to fight Marlon Vera and Raoni Barcelos, which is very likely to happen, still seems like a tough fight for Deiveson Figueiredo at this point in his friggin' career. I don't think he can pick up a win over either of these guys. He has to beat someone outside of the top 15, in my opinion. I don't really see anyone in the top 15 that Figgy can beat based off what we've seen in his low output, but anything can happen. He had a split decision to Montel Jackson in Brazil, though. That's something to mention. Hometown fight for Figgy in that one, tail end of his career. So I don't really know realistically how many more fights he is going to win, and I have fallen off the Figgy train over the last 2 years, where when I first started predicting fights, I was super high on Deiveson Figueiredo, and I respect him being that former champion and everything he's done in his career. But Father Time doesn't wait for anyone. Father Time is here for some of these fighters, and Figgy's just past his prime at this point. He's been there, he's done that, but he still has some entertaining fights left in the tank. Let's see them at the bottom of the top 15 in the bantamweight division. The bottom tier of the weight class, even outside of the top 15, wouldn't be bad. If you want Figgy to get a win, it might be happening outside of the ranks of bantamweight. F3's here. That's my little recap on UFC Macau. Talked about most of the fights. Pretty good event. I was live for the whole event except for the first 3 fights. So if you want some of my reactions, go check it out. I think my craziest reaction was Sergey Pavlovich in that first sequence there versus Taliesin Teixeira. Super happy to call that fight right. That was my favorite fight of the night, and I was super happy to see the hardest hitting 265er get it done exactly as forecasted. If you want more picks, subscribe, like the video. We will be here each and every week working on next week's picks already. The White House event, UFC Freedom 250. Full card prediction show already out there. Go check it out. Smash the like button. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We're on Instagram, Discord, X. I'll jump on Discord now. End of the show. See what's going on. Probably not much. Little quiet now. This morning, Discord was active. We had a little bit of soccer talk in there, baseball talk, basketball talk. Big Game 7 coming up here. Spurs and Thunder. Big Game 7 coming up. Let me know in Discord if you're there, what you're doing tonight. Some people already let me know what their play is tonight in the Game 7. Some people are talking about baseball too. So if you want information on all sports, Discord's free. Smash the link in that description below. Don't forget, suplex slam that subscribe button. and smash the like button. We'll be back for another video very soon. I have 2 videos almost ready to put out for the public. We got UFC Vegas 118 full card predictions coming out tomorrow. And then late tomorrow, maybe Tuesday morning, we're doing an NHL 26 franchise relocation F3 gaming, video gaming video. So stay forecasted. F3 is here.